Hi everyone, welcome to another tour of my backyard. So this time it's early January, so Happy New Year everyone. I hope you have lots of opportunities in your garden, and so let's start. One first thing that you may notice is that I had to protect some plants because we're starting a quite chilly week, so yeah, I just had to protect them. In the garden some things have changed, so I'm gonna show you. We go up this way. So now my Boscobel rose has no more flower on it. I have some bulbs that are starting to poke through, even budding up, but I'm not sure which one there are. I'm gonna show you. Here, I don't know if I showed you, but there's a Desdemona that has been planted here. Nearby there's a Fusain d'Europe Red Cascade, which is a spindle tree, which is going to be great, have nice flowers and fruits for me and the birds. Nearby is the hydrangea Fraise Melba, which must be Strawberry Sunday. The blueberry. Nearby is it's Viburnum opalus, but it's also called European cranberry bush. As you can see, the hellebore is completely covered in blooms, so that's great. It's the first year that it shows so much blooms. Nearby I've planted one of the Dustimillas I had. Just behind I moved a dahlia, I can't remember which one, so it's going to be of a surprise. It might be Dahlia polka, not sure. And I'm keeping the stems just for wildlife. So just after the hellebore you have this dogwood, which is the dogwood Alba elegantissima. It has variegated foliage, so this should be nice, and the stems are really pretty, and it's quite tall already. So this I think is new from the last month. So it's a spirea. So it's a pink Thunberg spirea, and because the weather has been too mild recently, it's starting to put on leaves. It's gonna be great, but yeah, it's gonna go dormant, I think, with the cold we're gonna have. After the spirea we have heuchera, which was already there, and here is a young lady. It's the smoke bush young lady. And so after that we already had this dogwood just behind it last time. It's the Copacabana Japanese dogwood tree. But what is new, and that you've seen maybe in my last video, are these 3 camellias that were in containers before for years, and as you can see they weren't doing great. So this is kind of the last chance, and I'm sure they're gonna do better. I already had a camellia nearby, which is now flowering. It's a different variety. I don't know the name of these 3, but I think there's like one pink and two white, and I'm not sure which one is which, and I don't have the name. But nearby we have this beautiful baby, which is called Koto no Kaori. It has beautiful little blooms. And so I think what's new since last time is this Mexican orange that I moved. It's the Aztec Pearl, and I moved it, so hoping it's gonna do great here. I think it's loaded with future blooms, so let's hope for that. And here is another dogwood. It was already there. Here is an escallonia that I moved, but I can't remember when exactly. I don't really like it, but I'm gonna try and make it work for the time being. Here is my cute little Japanese snowball, Plicatum viburnum Kilimanjaro sunrise. It still has a few leaves, but not for long, I'm sure. And behind the yellow little thing is a Mexican orange, but a different variety. Behind you have a black lace elderberry. I'm gonna show. So not a lot to show for the moment, but it's preparing itself. So maybe a big show this spring. So here is the big thing I did since last time. It's re-digging the hole for the mini pond and buying this green thing to put on top to protect my muddy soil in this part that I desperately need to use, but it needs to be dry. So once it's going to be dry, I'll be able to take this green mess off, put the mini pond in the hole, and add the soil back in just around the mini pond. So for the moment it has to stay like this, and you see it has rained, and all this would have been in the soil, making a bigger mess. So I'm quite happy that I've been able to protect the zone. I don't know if you can hear all the birds chirping. Yeah, I wanted to say this morning the leaf mulch, it was covered with frost and it was very nice, but I couldn't find the courage to get out in those cold temperatures, so it's gonna be this afternoon. That's it. Since last time also I added near the mini pond this escallonia. I'm not sure it's gonna be the best choice, but we're gonna see if it works. This one I really love. It's called Pink Ellie. It's a beautiful little shrub. It's gonna stay this size almost, and I think I have a few bulbs in there, but not sure where now. And nearby I moved some irises. There's an echinacea just there. I marked the zone, and here, let me show you. So here is Desdemona David Austin rose, and look at it. It was bare root, and it is doing great on this stem at least, because this other one not so much. And I think even there, yeah, but so I've got 3 because 2 were in bad condition, so at least I'm sure one of the 3 is gonna do great. About the irises, I moved a lot of them, and I really don't know which one is which color, which variety it is. So it's gonna be a big surprise. So I moved this little bird place and it's this side now. Before it was up there, and so I'm gonna be able to see them more frequently, playing with it and drinking the water. And so if I pan around, here we have some more of my little bulbs coming out. I think they're daffodils. What do you think? And so here, since last time, I cut back this Graham Thomas rose so that I could move here. If you can remember, last time the Escalonia Pink Ellie was there, and in front of it there was a dahlia that has been moved back there. So now there is a clean path for me to walk in. Now there's a white salvia here. Here we have the Achillea the pearl. Not sure if it's gonna stay here, but yeah. And just behind there's the Royal Jubilee rose, and it's doing fantastic. This one is gonna be very, very nice. And so nearby, as I was saying, there's this little iris place, and it's going to be a big surprise. And so there we have a dahlia that has been moved too. I'm going to see which one it is. Oh yeah, so this one was the one near the Escalonia. This one is Tropic and Black, and I really recommend it. So Royal Jubilee, Dahlia, Tropic and Black, irises, and here we have the flowering almond called Prunus triloba multiplex. And so this one was just there, but now there was a climbing rose here that was a monster for this zone, so I took it out a few months ago, and since last time I've added the Strawberry Hill David Austin climbing rose, and this one is taking its time. I think it went directly into dormancy, but hey, look, this is new growth. So yeah, it's not dead. There, this one. That was Strawberry Hill climbing rose. It's gonna be very nice for its first year. And if I pan this way, here is the Dahlia polka. And behind it we have a raspberry, a few irises. Here is this kiwi that never wanted to do anything, and then another raspberry. So if this is Dahlia polka, the first one I showed you near my tree is Dahlia breakout. It has to be this one, so it's fine. So here, after the almond tree, is the entry to the secret garden with the mini pond, and I moved here the crepe myrtle called Berlingot Monte. It might be a bit closed to this, not sure if you're seeing it, it's a Deutzia, beautiful one called Perle Rose. It doesn't flower at the same time, and also here is a salvia, here is an agapanthus, and here is another salvia, and here another plant. So it's a bit crowded, but yeah, we'll see. So this one has been moved recently, added in this place. It was in full sun before, but I had to move it, so now it's here. We'll see how it goes. it's called in English Orchid Rock Rose. So this plant was in this full sun position first, but I really needed to move everything from this zone, which is going to be a vegetable garden kind of zone. So now it is here, it's in part shade, so we'll see how it goes. It is an orchid rose, which I really liking this English name. It's called Cyste Rose in French, and it's looking good for the moment. It doesn't seem to mind the moving. Nearby we have a rosemary, which has like 2 flowers. So here is Viava dustimilla near the orchid rock rose. Here we have the sedum. The sedum seems to have lots of new baby growths. It is so cute. And just near the sedum we have the new addition, and this one is called French Cabaret Pastel Rose of Sharon, and it should look a bit like this photo. The French name is Hibiscus syriacus, as you can see. So I really hesitated with another variety that for me is looking much more exotic, like with a darker center and white edges, but I thought with the color scheme of my garden, this one should be better. So yeah, now it's here, so we'll see. It's quite a good size, so we'll see. And nearby I added an echinacea. This one is strawberry and cream, which I had bare root from Farmer Gracie last year and was small, but it's supposed to be the full size in the second year, so fingers crossed. So if I zoom out of this secret garden, there are still a few things that needs to be moved one day. If this salvia makes it through the spring, I will need to move it. I will need to find a place. There's also just behind this agapanthus, there's a small plant, a sun-loving plant that needs to be moved. I guess maybe the strawberries can stay, or I will just put them just around. And of course the lavender, well, maybe it could stay, I'll have to see. And there's the second agapanthus. So that's the plants that I have questions about. And of course the mini pond isn't that big. It's like this piece, so all of this will be the garden. So it's gonna be nice, but it's a process and you have to trust the process. Here is my second lavender, and this one doesn't have to move, so I'm greatly relieved because I'm sure a lavender must have big roots. Maybe it's just an idea, but I'm quite sure it does. Here I think it's the only iris, I'm quite sure. It's a pinkish hue. Of course everything's been white out. It's either pink or salmon, but it's gonna be great. It's the first year, and that's another Dusty Miller. I'm not sure I'm gonna keep all of them, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's a euphorbia. Oh, there was a bird getting out of my tree. So this is my dwarf peach tree. I had one only peach last year, my first one, and it was delicious. But there's one thing with this peach tree, I didn't know how to prune it, and I still don't really know, but I've watched videos and it's not clear what I should do by now, because they say that normally, like vertical stems, you should take them out, old wood, you should take it out. But if I do that, mostly everything has to go out. So I can't do that to this poor tree. It's been brave, so yeah, I'm gonna keep it mostly as it is, I guess. So just behind we have a fig tree that has been pruned, and quite severely, because it was getting too high as usual. So it's been cut back there in a more open form, which is good for airflow, and it's gonna do fine because fig trees are solid. This is the other side of the Golden Tower elderberry, and it's preparing itself, and as you can see, it also has new leaves because it has been mild, as I was saying, but I'm sure it's gonna stop for a while now because it's gonna be too cold. And these are canna lilies, but they never flowered. First in pots they didn't flower, in the ground they didn't flower, so I'm gonna take them out. I'm leaving them for wildlife for the time being. Another big thing that might not be really noticeable for you is the hedge. The hedge has been pruned. It took me quite a long time. There's still some ivy, or the other climbing one, dead stems on the top, but that's the last thing I need to do. I left some ivy, as you can see there maybe, because it was bearing fruits, and fruits are good for the birds, so I kept them. I was looking at this bed and look, I have a flower. Incredible. I don't know what it is, but it's coming through. It is not an ivy flower. I'm happy because nearby there's my Clematis almondi apple blossom, and I thought, yeah, it's green, but it hasn't put new growth since a year, and nothing is happening. Maybe it's dead, although it's green. And I saw a stem going on the other side of the wood panel, and I bring it on this side, and look, that is new growth. So it isn't dead at all, and it's gonna be great. Just a quick view at the Desdemona in pot, which was the first one I received, which was looking quite moldy near the root base. So in fact it seems to be doing fine, really fine. This is some ivy I have in a tiny pot, and it's still doing fine, and I'm sure I'm gonna add it into some container in spring. January is also the time where I'm starting to look at my rose bushes and thinking about how I'm gonna prune them, which stems I'm gonna keep and which one are getting out, because usually when they're looking old like this you're supposed to take them out, but also you need to have an open shape, and usually you keep like 3 to 5 stems, but it's like the new stem is in the center, so this one shouldn't stay. Same here, this beautiful growth is going into the center, so maybe not the best idea, but this one is good, this one is good. So yeah, not sure. I may need to keep some old ones this year. This one is Abraham Darby and it only has 3 stems, but I think one of them is new and it's starting to get sturdier, and so I'm quite hopeful for this year it's going to be even better than it has ever did. This morning I was watching some videos about blueberries, and it seems that my pots are a bit small, so maybe maybe they're a bit root bound in it. They're still flowering and putting up some blueberries and stuff, but maybe it would be much better if this spring I put them in bigger ones. There's a tiny moment of sun in the garden. Sorry, my neighbor, he just can't stop making noise. But just look at those vibrant colors on this geum. It's a geum Mai Tai. That's where I found an orange frog in 2023. And I didn't see it flower yet. It's gonna be the first time, but look at those colors. Sending you positive energy. I think in this small pot I added like 3 little bulbs of muscari because I had too many blue muscari, so I think these are the 3 popping up. Nearby the plant, I think it's a Godetia, and I'm not sure from last year, but it's coming from the base again, so yeah, nice. And in this other pot I had someone in my town. I was talking to her in her garden and she gave me some branches of her sedum. It died back, but look, all these babies coming through. I was having a look at the rocks I dug up the last time, but look, it's not only rocks. It's a kid's car in my garden. So yeah, maybe if I wash it up, there's something I can... It doesn't seem broken. And here in this container, it's quite a mess. I have spring bulbs coming through and sweet peas from 2023 that are still braving the weather. In this container I think these are ranunculus. I'm not sure about the color. Are they pink or are they yellow? They might be yellow, although I would prefer pink, but they're coming through too. One thing I like with garden design is the different point of views that you get. See, this is almost the point of view I get from my couch, and so I'll be able to see the dogwood here, the dogwood there, maybe the hydrangea if it gets bigger. But then I have another point of view when I am in the kitchen washing the dishes. Well, it's more like this, and so I see the other dogwoods and viburnum and the Mexican orange and the rose. So it's gonna be nice. This is the ponytail grass. I had only one. I divided it a few times, well, in a few pieces, and I have one here, one in this bed somewhere. I have to find it again, some in the front yard. So yeah, I'm sorry, I know it's messy, it's not like the best presenting garden tour. Oh, there's a bird back there, just there on top of the branches. Yay! It was the robin. I don't know where it's gone. Also, just to show you, so this is Boscobel, and just nearby here we have Penelope Lively. So this might look gross to you, but for people who don't know, this is worm casting, and this is like gold for the garden. First, it means that you have worms and they're doing their work underneath, so that's great. And also, worm casting, in fact, it's their poo, and their poo is very rich. It's a fertilizer for your garden. So don't just look at it as a gross thing, just look at it as a very great thing happening right now in your garden. This is gonna be all for today's video. I gathered a few things for today's mini bouquet, and I have some dried flowers inside, so I'm gonna add this up. The next video is gonna be about my front garden, and it's gonna be shorter. So have a nice weekend, and again, Happy New Year!